What did Kim Ji-won and Jung So-min do this time that left even Kim Soo-Hyun and Jung Hae-in visibly stunned? Was it the way they owned the spotlight? Their effortless elegance? Or something deeper that caught everyone off guard? One thing's certain, their recent appearance didn't just impress, it mesmerized. The admiration was written all over the faces of two of Korea's most respected leading men. Red Carpet Revealed is here to unpack the electrifying moment that had the entire room, and the industry, watching in awe. Let's dive in right now. When the red carpet opened under the dazzling lights of Seoul's most anticipated film awards ceremony, no one could have predicted that the moment everyone would talk about for days afterward wouldn't be the winners, the performances, or the controversies. It would be the quiet, commanding entrance of two women who changed the entire energy of the room without saying a word. Kim Ji-won and Jung So-min didn't arrive to make a scene. They didn't need to. There was something in their presence, sharp, magnetic, elegant, that made the crowd hush. Cameras freeze mid-snap. Even two of Korea's most respected actors, Kim Soo-hyun and Jung Hae-in, turned their heads in stunned admiration. The photographers caught it. The fans felt it. The internet replayed it. In one shared moment. As the two actresses walked side by side into the venue, Kim Ji-won in a sleek midnight blue velvet gown, Jung So-min in ivory silk with subtle crystal detailing, the entire aura of the evening shifted. And standing not far from the entrance, Kim Soo-hyun, who had been laughing with staff, stopped mid-sentence. Jung Hae-in, seated during a break in rehearsals, looked up and couldn't look away. Their faces, caught just long enough by press lenses, were a mixture of awe and pure, involuntary appreciation. It wasn't just about beauty, though there was plenty of that. It was about command, poise, presence. The quiet power of women who no longer needed validation from anyone. Who had built their careers not overnight, but brick by brick, quietly earning their place until their names alone carried weight and wonder. Makes this moment even more legendary is how uncalculated it was. There were no grand PR stunts, no dramatic walk-ins. They arrived together because of their long-standing friendship, bonded through shared struggles and unspoken understanding in an industry that often pits women against each other. That night, they walked as equals, sisters, almost icons in progress. Kim Ji-won, best known for her poised and emotionally grounded performances, had spent the last few years evolving her image from romantic second leads to commanding female protagonists. Her work in dramas like My Liberation Notes earned her not only critical acclaim but a renewed sense of artistic identity. She carried herself differently now, more still, more self-assured. Like someone who had tasted success and hardship and survived both. Jung So-min, on the other hand, had always been the emotional chameleon of her generation. Light-hearted roles to deeply tragic characters. Her range had earned her a quiet respect among directors and actors alike. But it wasn't just her acting that had matured, it was her aura. That night, when she stepped out of the car and into the frame, there was a hush. A kind of reverence normally reserved for legends. Together, they radiated something that couldn't be faked, earned elegance. The media erupted within hours. Photos of them walking side by side hit all major outlets. Some called them the queens of the night. Others wrote, "Move over. Power couples, this is the power duo we didn't know we needed." But perhaps the most viral headline came from an anonymous fan tweet. Kim Soo-hyun and Jung Hae-in just found their muses, and they knew it. And what about those two men? Kim Soo-hyun, ever composed and measured, was said to have commented quietly to a crew member backstage, "She's glowing tonight. She doesn't look like a co-star, she looks like a star." The crew member wouldn't say which actress he meant. But no one needed clarification. Jung Hae-in, meanwhile, had a moment that fans replayed in slow motion across dozens of online edits. As Ji-won and So-min walked past him toward their table, he stood slightly, almost reflexively, as if offering silent respect. His gaze followed them for several seconds. Not in flirtation, but in recognition. As one comment put it, he looked like a man witnessing something sacred. What made this moment more powerful than any headline was the truth that underpinned it. These weren't two new stars making a flashy debut. These were veterans, women who had weathered the uncertainties of the industry, faced countless moments where they were overshadowed, doubted, underestimated. But not tonight. The room belonged to them. From every angle, they owned the space. In interviews, they smiled graciously but didn't speak much. Let their energy speak louder than any soundbite. And backstage, according to one journalist, they weren't seen checking mirrors or adjusting gowns. Or laughing, lightly, naturally. Like two women who had long ago stopped trying to impress anyone but themselves. Reaction was instantaneous. Twitter was flooded with clips of the moment. Fans created edits with dramatic soundtracks, poetic captions, and emotional tributes. One popular fan-made video was titled "When Grace Walked In" and showed their walk in slow motion, layered with the instrumental of Ave Maria. Another paired the footage with Beyoncé's "Who Run the World." But beyond the glamour and virality, something deeper was happening. Viewers weren't just reacting to beauty. They were reacting to what that beauty symbolized. Brilliance, power, sisterhood, confidence earned, not bought. For young women watching across the globe, this wasn't just a red carpet moment. It was a reminder of how far these two actresses had come, and how much further they could still go. The admiration from Soo-Hyun and Jung Hae-in only added to the narrative, when men of such stature paused to take note. It's not about romance, it's about respect. And that respect was palpable. In the days following the event, both actresses saw a surge in casting offers. Producers, inspired by the renewed buzz around them, started circulating concepts for potential co-lead dramas. Insider from a major network said, "We've wanted to cast them together for years. After last night, it's not a maybe anymore, it's a must." Whether that collaboration will happen remains to be seen. But what's certain is this: something changed that night. Not just in the industry, but in the way fans, critics, and even fellow actors viewed Kim Ji-won and Jung So-min. And this was just the beginning. Because as stunning as that red carpet moment was, it happened behind the scenes. The quiet gestures, the shared looks, the words not spoken, told a story even more powerful than what cameras could capture. Long after the red carpet cooled and the lights faded from the ceremony hall, the moment still lingered like perfume in the air, subtle, intoxicating, and impossible to forget. Ji-won and Jung So-min had done more than walk into a room that night. They had stepped into the narrative of an entire generation of women determined to be seen, heard, and revered, not just for their roles, but for their quiet revolution. And standing just steps away, visibly stunned by the sheer radiance of it all, were Soo-Hyun and Jung Hae-in, two men known for their own mastery of the screen, now caught in a rare moment of admiration that needed no words. Backstage, the energy was different. Stylists, journalists, and crew members whispered about the moment. It wasn't rehearsed or planned. It was organic, electric. A stylist from a rival label reportedly said, "I've never seen Soo-Hyun look at anyone like that, not even in character." A photographer who captured the now viral side profile shot of Jung Hae-in said in an interview, "It wasn't just attraction, it was awe. You could see it in his eyes. That kind of respect is rare." But behind all the glitter and the captured glances was a deeper truth: the strength, resilience, and inner light that brought Kim Ji-won and Jung So-min to that very moment. This wasn't an overnight transformation. It's built over years of rejection, reinvention, relenting dedication to craft. Kim Ji-won had often been labeled underrated, despite possessing one of the most consistent acting resumes of her generation. From second leads that left lasting impressions to breakthrough roles in emotionally complex dramas, she never stopped pushing forward. Never needed the spotlight. She created her own light, and eventually, it became too bright to ignore. Jung So-min, on the other hand, had been the chameleon of Korean drama. Soft, sharp, funny, tragic, she could inhabit any space. But what set her apart was her emotional accessibility. Audiences didn't just watch her, they felt with her. And that kind of authenticity, that unpolished truth, doesn't come from fame. It comes from vulnerability, from pain. Knowing who you are when the cameras aren't rolling. That night, both women were walking not just with elegance, but with history stitched into every thread of their gowns. And it was that invisible story, of struggle, of silence, of triumph, that made even veterans like Soo-Hyun and Jung Hae-in pause. It wasn't about romance. About recognition. About seeing something familiar in someone else's rise. The two men, known for their poise and introspective personalities, just witnessing beauty, they were witnessing legacy. Jung So-min reportedly exchanged a few words with Soo-Hyun during the after-party. No one knows what was said. The fan who managed to glimpse their brief conversation described it as warm, quiet, and full of mutual admiration. Ji-won shared a toast with Jung Hae-in moments later, her laughter echoing softly over the low music, and whispered congratulations. One insider said, "There was something really moving about it. Like they all understood what this night meant, not just professionally, but personally." The internet, naturally, its own interpretations. Some fans began shipping the pairs, creating digital art and speculative love stories. But the deeper fandom, the ones who had followed these four stars through every high and low, wasn't about flirtation. This was about elevation. Kim Ji-won and Young So-min weren't being admired because they were women in beautiful dresses. They were being admired because they had become the kind of artists, and women, who leave people speechless. In the week that followed, actresses posted thank you messages to fans. Ji-won wrote, "I'm still learning how to carry myself. Thank you for walking with me on the journey." So-min shared, "Sometimes shine brightest when we are surrounded by those who help us feel like ourselves. I'm grateful." There was no mention of the men, mention of the moment. But the timing said it all. Kim Soo-Hyun, in a rare Instagram story, posted a single black and white photo from the night, the chandelier above the stage, blurred slightly, shimmering in light. No caption. Fans read between the lines. Jung Hae-in, when asked in a radio interview how he felt about the evening, replied with a small smile, "Some moments don't need words. They just stay with you." And perhaps that's why this story resonated so deeply. Because it wasn't about a viral clip or an unexpected reaction. It was about presence, power, recognition. Four of the industry's most respected stars quietly acknowledging each other. Not with headlines or hugs. With stillness. With eyes that saw. There was a moment captured near the end of the event, a photo that didn't make it to the main tabloids, but which spread like wildfire through fan accounts. Showed Kim Ji-won and Young So-min walking away from the main hall together, dresses trailing behind them like whispers. In the background, Kim Soo-hyun and Jung Hae-in are slightly out of focus, standing together, both watching. Not with desire, not with envy. Something far more profound, reverence. Image, blurred and poetic, came to define the entire evening. It was printed, reposted, turned into canvas art by fans who understood what had truly taken place. And it reminded everyone that sometimes, the most powerful people in the room aren't the ones who speak the loudest or smile the widest. They're the ones who've survived the most quietly. Who enter not to be seen, but to remind the world that they were always here. In the months following the event, one signed on to a major film with an international co-production label. Young So-min began working on a drama based on a best-selling novel. Her first lead role with full creative input. Soo-hyun and Jung Hae-in, both reportedly impressed by the atmosphere that night, have since spoken with their agencies about collaborating with both women in future projects. Nothing is confirmed, but the interest is real. Industry, which so often thrives on noise, reminded of the power of quiet. And fans? Still talking about that moment. About that walk. About those glances. About how four individuals, two women rising together, two men pausing to honor that rise, changed the very energy of what it means to own the room. It wasn't about who or what. It was about who became unforgettable. Kim Ji-won and Young So-min didn't demand the spotlight that night. They simply arrived, and the spotlight followed. Thank you for reading and sharing in this moment of celebration, elegance, and emotional power. Red carpet revealed. We believe some stories deserve more than headlines. They deserve to be felt. Until next time, keep your eyes open for the quiet moments. That's where the real magic lives. See you again soon.